what failing in that specific relationship taught me about religion, about God, about life in general. I mean, basically, I think my inner self, my subconscious mind, was straight telling me that this bitch is not God, dude. If anything, you are the God that controls the man that walks, not anybody else. And you are responsible for allowing that person to control you. And until you take control of yourself, and so on, basically. Does that make sense? Because, there's no. If you are sacrificing yourself for somebody else, like, you're letting them be your God. And it's a heavy duty mistake, bro. A heavy, heavy duty mistake. You don't want to do that. Like, and I think the word God here is, people misread what the real message behind that is. I mean, to be honest, you're loving someone else more than you love yourself by quitting drinking and trying to be the person that person wanted me to be. I'm letting that person be my God, and letting their ideals and shit mold who I'm supposed to be. And if I don't succeed at that, I'm failing, and I hate me, and I lived that life, dude. I was, and I was never ever happy. I was always pissed off, always depressed. I got fatter, and and I lifted weights. I did all the stuff, and I never cheated. Tried to be the best boyfriend, husband that I could be. Tried to be the best father I could be, and I just got belittled and mistreated because number one, I didn't stand up for myself. I let that person rule over me because I thought life would be easier that way, and no. That's where I came to grasp the concept that, like, the way I explained it to my father, because he was trying to tell me that and it's like, I am God of this man. He is mine. He does not belong to you or anybody else. And that got misconstrued, and they tried to, oh, you're crazy. And to be honest, most of if you look at it that way, it's basically Indian religion, Hindu, and mystic. There's no difference. And the goal there is to find the God within. And for me, this was the best explanation of what God's supposed to be in your life. Not a whole thing where, oh, I am God, worship me. No, not at all, dude. My point was, you're not God, and I won't worship you, is more. And it got misconstrued like a motherfucker. But, that's going through these things. That is what they helped me understand, is that you shouldn't worship other people. Don't ever put anybody. There's no one that deserves you to sacrifice what brings you joy or makes you happy so that they can be happy. And anyone that does that is a self-righteous cocksucking piece of shit, and you should get rid of them and get them out of your fucking life. Because if the only thing that brings them joy is your suffering, they are not a good person, and you don't want them in your life. I'm not saying that other people should just bow down and love you for what, but to dismantle everything that you are as a human being, push you to the point to where you fucking lose your fucking mind, to where your subconscious mind is telling you, hey, dude, no. I want to be happy, and what you're doing to me is not making me happy. And I mean, I'm hoping I'm trying to convey this message as best possible because, in a way, it's like ancient mystic traditions, and in a way, it's fucking Hinduism. Finding the God within you, the light, the energy, the force. And I mean, this is where my spiritual journey began 15, 20 years ago. When my inner self started telling me, you're important too. Stand up for yourself. But it was telling me in a weird, fucked up way. And maybe it was my surroundings, maybe it was my religious beliefs at the time, which was Christianity. I was raised as a Christian, but I mean, my inner self woke me up to the belief that, dude, you have to love yourself. And I didn't love me. I had to have somebody else's love to prove whether I was allowed to love myself at that time. And dude, it's not cool at all. Now I just don't really give a fuck, man. Because you know what? I love me, and that's what's important. You didn't. I don't care. I'm not going to do anything for you. What have you done for me other than trying to break me? Like, if someone's trying to break you, then fuck them, dude. Like, whatever. Like, I have family members trying to tell me about myself, and it's just like, dude, you're way worse. Like, you really think that you are the God that I should kneel and worship, and fuck you, dude. I mean, I think that's part of the whole spiritual journey that helped me, you know what I mean? Because I realized a long time ago, this motherfucker, fuck you. It's about the inner work. It's about yourself. And I mean, if you don't, and it goes deeper than that. You see it in society everywhere today. The whole manipulation of fucking your phone selling you stuff. Every goddamn commercial you see, the radio, all of it. It's all a manipulation tactic. And I mean, I learned this stuff so long ago because I fucking failed horribly in life. And my inner self is trying to explain to me, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to decipher what my inner voice is telling me on a level, and I'm explaining it to other people, and they're getting offended, and it's just like, well, I wouldn't. And basically, like, I'm telling this bitch, I'm in charge of me. I'm the God of me. I'm not gonna worship you. And basically, because all she wanted me for was money. Like, she wanted my paychecks. Give me your paychecks. Have them direct deposited into my bank account. No. Like, when you stop trying, no. And, I mean, but all in all, I learned in that relationship that you can't mold yourself to fit somebody else's mold, dude. Like, you have to pick what you want to be, and if they don't want you to be that, then they don't need to be in your life. I mean, unless you're fucking killing babies or some fucked up crazy shit, if they can't accept you for who you want to be, especially because nobody, I really doubt many people's goals is to just be a fucked up person. I mean, trying to be a musician, trying to fucking, people should, you shouldn't get, if you're working 40 hours a week, 50 to 60 hours a week, and you want to be a musician in your free time, no one should be allowed to take that from you. And I mean, if you want to go to the gym and stuff, nobody should hold that against you when you're supporting them. I mean, and I let them run my shit, and no. And I mean, that is where I came to understand that, I have to love me. I have to be the one in charge of my life. I have to be the God of this man. I can't let someone else be the God of me and then worship them. And no, it's not. It is not a happy place. And I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is written down. I mean, the book of Judas says, don't follow you're not even following your star, you're following somebody. I get that from this experience, is because I'm worshiping this person. Put no other God before you. Don't worship some other asshole. Don't try and fit yourself to be who they want you to be. Just be yourself, or you're not going to be happy. And I mean, if you don't want to change, it's just going to make you depressed. And I mean, I think most people's inner self would drive them to this self-realization anyway. Because, I mean, I didn't read a book to figure this shit out. I didn't go find a teacher. I lost my fucking mind by letting this bitch rule me. And, like, I let someone else run all over me. And, I mean, I let them do it because, you know what? I failed at life before that already. I mean, this was my second relationship with children, and I didn't want to fuck it up again. And I knew that, so I let that person, I just said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll quit drinking. I'll quit doing this. I'll quit doing that. I'll just be whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Here's all my money. And it didn't end well that way either. And my inner self was screaming to the point to where it was telling me, dude, you know? And I mean, that's where I come to understand that you are God shit. Because, I mean, in the Taoist and the Buddhist and the, all these religions, that's basically the outcomes. You understand that God lives within you. The inner paradise. It's in Christian, it's in Taoist, it's in Buddhist, it's in all these religions. And I mean, if you let somebody else control you to the point where you get pushed that far, yourself will tell you this. And I mean, that's where I realized it. Through failure, through failing at life. And I mean, my inner self reached up, smacked me, straight told me, dude, you are the one who makes every decision for this being. You're unhappy because you keep choosing to let someone else be in charge of you. And until you be in charge of you, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to love yourself. You have to forgive yourself for failing. You have to be the God of the person, which means make the choices. It means be, you know what I mean? And it's not about doing all the work and being most important and having all the money. It's not, dude. It's about making decisions that make you who you are. It's about being responsible for your failures, for your success. And it's about choosing the experience, because if you don't choose, somebody else will do it for you. And if somebody else is doing it for you, you're not living, you're being a slave. And I mean, that's what I learned through that relationship and that failure. And I've, you know, and I eat a lot of shit for that, but, you know, so what? It helped me figure a lot of things out. And the biggest thing I figured out is I do not want to put any other person above me. I don't want to have to quit doing this and do this way because you said so. I don't want to have to work so you can have all my money. I mean, and from my experience in life, I mean, I live with my mom, and I'm paying $180 a week in child support, plus I'm paying her $500-600 a month rent, and I had no money. And I mean, what money I had left, I was drinking time for the longest time. I guess it was only like 4 years. And then I met her, my daughter's mom, and I had to quit drinking because of this, and then I had to give her all my money, and then every time my friends would come over, oh, are you gonna buy us beer? I paid for fucking everything and worked 12 hours a fucking day. I think I can go buy my own beer. And after a while, I just let her win. I said, yeah. And from that point on, she was in charge. And I was not happy. And that is 5 years of my life I will not ever get back. Where I basically sold my soul to the devil and let somebody else be in charge of me. To the point where my inner self is cussing me and telling me, dude, you know what I mean? And that is the most important thing I learned in that relationship. And I mean, to tell myself these things was almost fucking, because like, yeah, like, it was a heavy, you are not God and I do not worship you. But the whole you are God situation, that's where I learned that, is through that relationship. Is I am God of this human being. I make the decisions for him. And you are the God of you. And you only get to make the decisions for you. Leave me the fuck alone and let me do what the fuck I want to do. And that is the most important thing you will ever learn in your entire life. And to be honest, understanding that makes you pretty happy. Although it will try and have people tell you that you're crazy, because those are the ones that tell you that you're crazy for thinking like this are the people that want you to believe that they are God and want to be worshipped, and you should just listen to whatever they say and blah blah blah. Because are they a doctor? No? Well, then they probably have no idea whether you're, crazy or not. You're allowed to be spiritual. You're allowed to have beliefs. You're allowed to have a hope. And to have somebody tell you you're crazy for being spiritual and being Hindu or being Taoist or being a Gnostic Christian, which is the same similar values as Taoists, and fucking Hindu. And to be honest, I'm not well versed in all those religions. I know a little bit about each one. And I know that the true goal of all of it really is to find the God that lives within you. And I mean, I've taken it to a scientific level to try and find it and understand it better. Is it a signal down to the reflective magnification of my heart off of the earth itself, or the waters within, out, and to understand how the universe is a quantum computer and how information travels on light, and maybe the information is the light reflects off here and takes the information that is me down to the black hole and to the Godhead, which would be the black hole, the center of the core of the universe. That makes more sense to me than somebody telling me that I should worship their God because they said so. And in reality, those people don't even believe in their God, which is fucking fucked up and true. Look at all these pastors and shits preaching, and in reality, they're driving these fancy... They ain't helping nobody but themselves. They don't believe in their God. If anything, I believe it's an energy, a force that is life itself, that lives within you, possesses you, and makes you alive. And that thing that's in possessing everyone, through your individuality and your personal experience, you create the individual. That's what you are God of, is the individual. I mean, if you asked an AI about reality and what it thinks it is, and if it's a computer system, it would basically explain to you that it would view it as an experience, whether good or bad. It's just an experience being documented. That's it. And if we look at it as light coming down, reflecting, and taking the information like a radio wave and shooting it back to the center of the universe, it's like information being compressed into a two-dimensional file, or a zip file, if you will, at the core. And I mean, that's the 2D universe theoretical physics anyway. So, but kind of in reverse, I don't know. But that makes more sense than some man that said he created everything and said I should kneel and worship. That doesn't really float for me. But I know that through this experience, that experience, 15 fucking years ago, I come to understand that I am in charge of this person. And I mean, when I'm trying to understand it, I mean, my inner self told me that I was God of this. And everybody misinterpreted it as something else. But I think in reality they understood, and they just wanted me to appear crazy so they could manipulate me. Because I mean, it really doesn't, it's not, if anything, you could say I'm atheist and say that, look dude, I don't believe in your God. I think I am in charge of me as a person. There's no difference at all, really. Both those concepts are basically identical. One is kind of more spiritual and believes that, you know, after this I'm probably stored in some 2D crystal structure. And the other just believes it goes blank. But, you know, whatever. But in reality, that's, for me, that's what understanding who God is to understand that if it is something more, it's probably more like electricity and less like a man that tells me what I'm supposed to do. If that makes sense. Now, for me, because I want to understand it as a physical thing, that's almost similar to all these religions are saying. The spirit, the life force, the energy. That'd be the electrical and stuff. And I mean, for me, that's good enough. I mean, that's close enough. And everything I learned about this L-dopamine amplification, about radio waves, about frequency, about Tesla. And I mean, what is Tesla doing? He's taking information or energy and moving it from point A to point B. He teleported some stuff. And I mean, modern day teleportation isn't about moving a man through time and space. It's about moving information. The physical body dies, the information is transported, and we knew through quantum physics that this is actually physically possible. We are doing it on a micro scale, someday maybe a macro scale. Until then, we may not ever know. But I think it's funny because people are going to try and tell you you're doo-doo, and it's just like, my doo-doo has science behind it, your doo-doo has you said so behind it. And that is my biggest issue with a lot of the things that go on, because they don't want to explain shit. They just want to say, because I said so. Well, you can take your because I said so and shove it up your motherfucking ass. I'd rather be spiritual and believe than have you just tell me because you said so. I mean, it's more fun to do your own research. And I tell you what, if you go through a shit in life, eventually your inner self will just straight up fucking tell you. I mean, because if anybody knows, it's you. And you should just listen to yourself and not all these other people. And that is the biggest lesson in how hard it was for me to learn. I let someone rule over me for a really, really long time. And come to the understanding that, you know what? I shouldn't. And if I do, it's my fault that I let them. So until I take control, drive my own bus. And I mean, I think if more people took that into consideration, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in as a society as a fucking whole. Because we keep just saying, okay, yeah, and letting shit fucking slide, and we shouldn't at all. We should be like, hey, hold up, bro. Like, it's time. This shit's ridiculous. But, I mean, I hope that if you find this, you don't let yourself go through all the shit that I went through to try and understand this aspect of life, of what God is, of what reality holds. And I mean, it's more about taking control of your life, because you are God of that life. And if you let somebody else drive it, then I mean, it's your fault. You let them drive it. I mean, don't let them drive it, dude. You have to be the God of the human being and take responsibility for all the shit. And I mean, don't say God a bunch. Definitely don't. But be responsible. Because if you say God a bunch, they're going to attack you. Say that you think that you're all this and that. They're fucking stupid, and they want to be your God, and they want you to follow them, and blah, 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 blah. Like, never mind, I'm not even going to go there, but that's the whole point. And that is my version of Hinduism and Taoists, and I mean, they're kind of the same. And Gnosticism. And I mean, the whole reason I look at the light the way that I do is because of fucking E = mc squared, the Brett Wheeler process, reflective magnification, Tesla, radio frequency, Sophia, the light became matter. That's E = mc squared. That is the Brett Wheeler process. We use light to transfer information from point A to point B. That's why I think it's possible that light reflects off my planet and takes the information that is my life, my experience, and shoots it back into the black hole. And the black hole eats that light and turns it into a 2-dimensional crystal storage zip file. It may not even be a 2-dimensional. I'm just trying to explain it in a way that makes fucking sense. It makes more sense because, I mean, this is exactly how a quantum computer would, because the observer, multi-states, anything is possible. I found another article today on splitting a photon and infinite possibilities arise, or infinite outcomes arise, and then you have the observer effect. All of it kind of a bunch of puzzle pieces. And then there's the Zeeman effect, where fucking magnetism, which you're a gigantic magnet. Your heart is a magnet. And when a magnet affects light, it basically splits the photons, and one side goes faster and one side goes slower. So it slows time and speeds time. It's multifaceted and infinite possibilities via your intent. This is where you are controlling your own reality. And that's why it's important that you don't let other people control your reality. Because you don't want to lose your fucking mind and have your inner self telling you, dude, you're God, dude. Like, you keep letting all them other people be God, and they're not. You are God of this person. And I want to be happy, and this crap about you letting them drive your bus is sucky. Why? Because physics says that, you're an electromagnetic wave, and that electromagnetic wave affects light. And when you separate the photons, infinite possibilities arise. And if you do not have intent and you do not know what you want, then you will take whatever path that these people choose to have you take. So don't let them be your gad. They're not the gad. You are the gad. Use your intent and pick your own path. And it took me a lot to understand that simple thing. From losing my mind and my inner self telling me, dude, you're God, you can't let them drive, down to understanding that electromagnetic waves separate light into multifaceted plays. One's fast, one's slow. When we separate the photons, infinite possibilities arise, and through intent, we can choose the path. That is the most important, hard-ass lesson I've ever had to learn in my entire life. And because of the fact that I had to break it down to this, from my inner self telling me that I am God, and understanding that down to what I really was trying to tell myself, is that I get to choose my path. If I do not choose, they will choose for me. Down to my electromagnetic wave affects the light photons and creates an infinite possibility, and my intent helps me choose which possibility and path I choose. And I mean, the only reason I know that is because they were like, you're crazy. You're not God. I'm not God of the universe, but I'm God of this man. And that wasn't good enough, so I stepped it up. That wasn't good enough, so I stepped it up. That wasn't good enough, so I stepped it up some more. All the way to the point to where I understand that my electromagnetic wave, that is my heart, it creates a vortex, a Zeldovich effect happens, and life amplifies within me. And that electromagnetic wave affects the light, which, could be, number one, it could be programming the light with my information. Number two, it is photons separating and creating infinite paths. And everything's made of light. E equals MC squared. Wheeler process. The Brett, Breit, BREIT, WHEELER process. This is a long video. I'm going to stop it here. You guys have a wonderful fucking day. And, man, choose your own fucking path. Because if not, dude, you'll lose your fucking mind, and your inner self will grab you by the fucking balls and say, hey, dude, you're God, and if you don't start picking, we're going to let them, and we're going to end up hating ourselves. Trust me, I did. And it took me a long, long time to understand that.